Hello everyone, this is sorry about that, this is Super Zero Gamer, aka Pixela Games, and welcome back to Ratchet and Clank. Ugh, jeez, that intro sucks. Okay, anyway, so I would have recorded more Kirby, but because the PS4 kind of hogged the my Wii U's HDMI port, because my TV only has 3 HDMIs. So I can't record Kirby at the moment, but don't worry, once I get I can get this special device that'll help with that. With making the recording of with making me finish, it will make me connect the Wii U and PS4. They'll connect an HDMI port. They'll share the port. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with my talking or me speaking right now. I don't know. Grammar, what is wrong with my grammar? I'm sorry. I think something just caused my intro to suck. Man, why can't I do this properly? Okay. Someday, I'll make it to where everything on this channel will be professional. Well, eventually, I'll make my videos better. Eventually. Okay, so let me tell you about these games I got for Christmas that I will be happy to do Let's Plays of in the future. So I got Mario Odyssey for Christmas, and I got Sonic Forces. I probably mentioned Forces, but I don't know. And I also got I also got crap. I got other games too, but I just can't think of them at the moment. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with me talking right now, but, and if this is cringe, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be cringy, I just... Oh well, on the bright side, I play decently good, or fairly good, or whatever. Okay, so, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So I believe, so I would have recorded this sooner, but I was out of town. But, I, couldn't. Because, you know, out of town and all. Anyway, so another thing is, as you all know, it is now 2018. 2017 was a great year for gaming and for stuff in general, like, it was a great year. And cheers to 2018 being another successful and great year for gaming, and also for anything else that's good in the media. Yeah.
Alright, everyone, let's give these heroes some breathing room. I'm happy to field all questions on their
Dallas Wanamaker here. Does this mean you'll be asking these two heroes to join the Rangers?
Say what now? I don't see why not. And that is how dumb luck helped the rookie Lombax take out a Blargian warship.
That wasn't no dumb luck. He and that robot made a great pair.
Yes, they do make a great pair. They're like brothers. Who is this Solitary Bill anyway? Someone make a theory on that. I mean, I probably can. I mean, I'm not the best with theories, but I could try. It's just, who would this Solitary Bill be? I don't know. For some reason, he reminds me of this one character that's in one of the older Ratchet and Clank games. I think it was Going Commando, probably? Where you see this guy that's just hiding, and you only see his eyes through one of those peek holes. You know, those peek holes that shift up and you're like, what's the password? It was one of those.
To the Hall of Heroes.
Hey, Ratchet, where'd you go? We're supposed to start your training in a few minutes.
Also, look how pretty this looks.
Clank and
This
I
looks
ran into a bit of,
gorgeous.
ship trouble.
And I promise I will get an Elgato and Blue Yeti. Better quality will happen soon. My birthday's coming up soon, like January 25th, that's my birthday, and it's coming up, and hopefully I'll get that. Or, yeah. Because that would be very important, and, or, you know, it would be useful. Very useful. Because it's something I really need for this channel. Because when it comes to, stuff like this, I need to make sure I need to, you know, I really like making videos that are entertaining and good. I've had plenty of little ideas and visions of interesting videos. I just need to learn how to edit and learn how to use good software and all that jazz. I'm kind of a noob when it comes to editing. But I'll learn eventually. I learn pretty quickly, so.
Hey, you looking for some weapons? Step into my office.
There's Mr. Zurgon. I was gonna say Zagon. It's Zurgon, pronounced Zurgon. But he doesn't, we don't have enough bolts for him.
Just bought one of those for myself.
You can,
I can vouch for its effectiveness.
there's also this thing, but from what I can tell, it's not the best, from what I remember. Might as well upgrade. It's always good to upgrade the weapons.
Wicked. Now you're almost too powerful.
One thing I want to see return in the Ratchet and Clank games is the ability to customize your weapons and modify your weapons, like in A Crack in Time. A Crack in Time had this really good modifying system and customizable system for your weapons. You can paint your weapons, you can modify your weapons however you like, and I just want that. I feel like that needs to come back. It's a really good system that should come back in the Ratchet and Clank games. And yeah, it just needs to come back. It's one of the really, really good system. Okay. Let's go. It's odd that this is the level that had probably the most iconic Ratchet and Clank theme ever, which goes it goes like that, and it's pretty much one of the most iconic Ratchet and Clank themes ever. And now they replaced it with a triumphant theme, which I don't mind the music in this in this game, and every once in a while you might hear the old theme in some techno music in the music in this level. You might hear it. It's just kind of tricky to hear from time to time. But the music in the Ratchet and Clank games are pretty good, and they're not the most memorable, like not, and by that I mean they're not as iconic and memorable as, say, Nintendo music. Because Nintendo music, that is, like, memorable as heck and iconic. I mean, Mario music, Zelda music, iconic and memorable as heck and just amazing. I just feel like, and I believe what they did for making, like, Insomniac, the guys who made the Ratchet and Clank series, they also did Spyro, and I believe and I remember what they did for Spyro, they basically had this guy, I don't know, I forget the guy who composed the music, I forget his name, but what they did was they made him play the levels and basically get a feel of the levels and basically imagine the music in his head and just write the music for each level and have a feel of what each level's music would be like. They should do that technique in the future. I don't know if they still do that, but they should. I would. Because I have some level ideas in mind for game design that I would do. What I would do for game design is, well, I said this in the past, but for my game designing skills, I would basically be designing the characters, designing the levels, etc. All the things that build the game. Also, the dogs can bite off some of Ratchet's fur, which is really disturbing. What game are you playing, Hal? You playing, like, League of Legends or something? I don't know. I don't know why I think League of Legends. Or, there's one more thing I was gonna think. I never played League of Legends personally, but I know it's really popular. And it's been around for probably over 10 years. Fongoid with a stick, which is a reference to, you know what? After this cutscene, I'll explain because those posters are still there in the.
Exclusive content if you pre-ordered through Gadgetron. I take it you're the ones Cora called me about, the ones in need of a new helipack upgrade. You must be Big Al. It is nice to meet you. I am Clank. This is Ratchet. Well, any friend of Cora's is a friend of mine. She and I kind of have a will we, won't we romance in progress.
Really?
Hop onto my work.
I mean, how can you? Like, I just picture what his romance he's speaking of is like, you know, some of those characters in TV shows and stuff where one character has a crush on a character and just like, and is always telling that character, they're like, oh, you're amazing, and they basically think anything you do or say or whatever is amazing, and then the other person is just like, yeah, you know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean. Like Sonic and Amy, basically. That's what it's like. Okay, so these posters, my blaster runs hot, which is this little mini game thing from A Crack in Time, and Falling Good with a Stick, which is a reference to Girl with a Stick, which is this game that Insomniac was developing for the original PlayStation. It was a mixture between Tomb Raider and Legend of Zelda, but they realized that the concept was kind of boring. I don't know what about the concept was boring. I don't know, I should look into it or look into the history of what. But it's a cancelled game, and yeah, they had a little reference in it in this game. And Spyro the Space Moose, which is a reference to Spyro the Dragon, which is Insomniac's first successful game franchise. Well, yeah, it's their first successful game franchise for PlayStation. Let's hope Spyro gets a remastered collection like Crash did on PS4, because that would just be epic. I mean, like, seriously. Like, I was, not just me, but also tons of other people expected Spyro to be announced at PlayStation Experience, but there was pretty much nothing good announced at PlayStation Experience. There was some games shown that were interesting, but most of the games that were shown on PlayStation Experience were pretty much eh. Like, seriously, Sony, how did you fail? Like, really? Hopefully, Spyro is shown at E3. Like, it's announced at E3. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Because, seriously, they need to do that. Spyro needs this. Okay. No, you're going down. Okay. I don't know if you heard them say it, but they said you're going down Lombax. It's so disturbing that these robot dogs can bite your fur off. Bite Ratchet's fur off. And Ratchet must have really thick fur that we just don't notice, because you just don't see any... Yeah, I don't know. You just don't see any of his fur patches off. Like, you don't see... You know, you don't see any of the skin. You just see the fur. It's just really disturbing that those things can grab some of his fur. It's disturbing. Jeez. They couldn't, I don't think they did that in the first game. I think they just bited at you. They didn't take your fur, like, they didn't grab your fur and nozzle at it or whatever. Like, see, look what they do. See? See? They bite the fur. They didn't do that in the original. I probably should do a comparison of the original and the PS4 reimagining. I mean, I have the original, not the PS2 version. I have the PS3 HD collection, because I never owned a PS2. I just have PS3 and PS4. I did have a PSP, and that was my first PlayStation console. That was my first introduction to PlayStation. And I don't have that PSP anymore because I sold it to get a 3DS. Like, remember, I don't know if any of you remember, but remember that, like, I don't know if any of you watching remember, but remember that review I did that was like a year ago, or it was not, that was basically back in 2016, where geez, sorry. Anyway, that's a cool looking clock. Like, really cool. Anyway, sometimes I get distracted by the scenery. Don't we all? Anyway, so remember that old video review I did of showing you guys my new 3DS XL back in 2016 when I saved up my money and got a 3DS? Well, I got, $80 from saving up was from me selling my PSP. And now I want a PSP again because there's some games on the PSP I never got the chance of playing. And some of the games on the PSP I would like doing a Let's Play of, just because Plus, I like to relive my childhood, you know? Okay, I think you just...
Come on, Clank. Let's make sure that doesn't happen.
You just... Yep. Okay. Oh. My bad. That was an accident. I meant to pull out the trigger for my gun. Okay. So, I like the scenery of Metropolis, which is this city. The way some of the city looks is really nice. You see some clock motif around, you see, it's just really cool. Really, really nice. No, I did it again. I meant to press the other trigger, the L2, or R2, because this is the right trigger. Seriously, why? I didn't mean to do that.
Come on, Clank. Let's make sure that doesn't happen.
Okay. Now... Whew, I apologize for that. It's just, you know, when you play games off screen, it's just when you play games by yourself, you're good at it, like a pro. And when you record them, all that skill is just shown because probably because you're being recorded and, you know, I don't know, it's just really, like, I feel like a lot of YouTubers and people that do this, I don't know how they get to where they don't, you know. Ugh. Maybe they're taking this fish to an aquarium or something. And whatever these things are. Okay. So, there. Also, I do have some ideas that are involving Ratchet and Clank that I feel like should be in the series, like it would be useful, and, well, not useful, but just would be things to visit in the series or revisit or whatever. It's just something that would be a good idea. And sometime, like I said this before, but when I become a game developer, I definitely would like to work with Insomniac. They seem to be my kind of developers, my kind of peeps. But I need to figure out how can I be hired by a company without a little diploma thing? I mean, I can learn how to develop, I can learn the basics of, you know, and I know there's online, there's learning stuff in online. It's just, I'm not doing an online, like, I know there's online colleges for learning how to become a developer, but, it just feels like there should be a better way. Okay, something about that sounds stupid. Something about me saying that whole thing was sounded stupid. I don't know why. I don't know why. I feel like I need to mentally prepare for every time I record.
We've been cleared to attack Drek Industries in 3 days. That means you two are getting the accelerator course.
Like, not just mentally prepare, but just prepare in general.
Hey, Lars.
Hi, Rex.
I don't know if you noticed, but her little hollow controller was pretty obviously a PlayStation controller. Obviously. Because Ratchet and Clank is a PlayStation IP.
I'll show you around.
Let's go, cadet. Time to make you a ranger.
Like, I forget what I remember seeing this fan art that was really dumb, and it was just of Ratchet yelling and raging on a phone, and he was just being like, "What is this dumb crap? Give me Ratchet and Clank DS," and I'm like, "Ratchet, you know you're a PlayStation IP. PlayStation IP, meaning you're exclusive on PlayStation. The DS belongs to Nintendo. So stay on the PlayStation side, buddy. Okay? Seriously, what the heck? Why do people not get that? They need to get that some IPs are exclusive on other consoles. That's the unique thing about getting a console. Like, it's always good to have IPs, especially exclusive IPs, because, especially the unique ones, like, why do you think people love getting Nintendo consoles? It's because not only are the Nintendo consoles different and from the competition, because Sony and Microsoft keep making the same console over and over again, just updated with the latest technology, but Nintendo does something different every time. And I just don't understand why people can't realize that it's obvious that, you know, Nintendo is supposed to create the uniqueness of the different varieties of consoles. So stop trying to say that Nintendo should quit making consoles and become a third-party developer, because they shouldn't. They're gonna make consoles forever. That's what they're gonna do. Okay, once I finish this little obstacle course, I'll stop this episode. Don't worry, this thing is short. Okay, I need to... There are some things that I feel like I need to make little rants about. And it's nothing stupid. Like, at least I don't think it's stupid. Like, I don't think it's stupid, like, fanboying or fangirling or whatever. It's more like something that is just trying to make a point. Kind of like the... Everything Wrong With series you see from CinemaSins. Even though there's a lot of people who do parodies of that for games and shows, and I like people who do those because it's cool. Like, you see people who do the opposite of CinemaSins and do it Cinema Wins, which is pointing out all the good things in movies. There's also Gaming Sins, which is complaining about all the flaws in a game. But I haven't seen anybody do all Gaming Wins, which is pointing out all the good stuff in a game. Which, people need to do that. That needs to be a thing. Okay, well, I will see you later, because, yeah. There's a lot of things to talk about. I'll make an update video once yeah. Sorry if this video is kind of but at least I got talkative throughout. So anyway, see you all later. Goodbye.